What's going on YouTube? Claic Yuzolt back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius video, and this early in the morning, the wee hours of the morning, they released the new FFBE updates video, Valentine Event 2020, where we're going to learn everything we get from this week. I'm going to go over it, you know, in a little bit of detail, give you guys my thoughts on it, because we're going to have the news tomorrow, I'm sure, where we can look at this in a little more in depth, but let's get into it. Alright guys, so the first thing they say in the video is they are talking about the Valentine's Day event, which is going to be a raid. Now listen, at first I was so scared it was going to be Full Metal Alchemist, and I love Full Metal Alchemist. You guys know it's one of my favorite animes, if not my favorite anime. I needed to be here, but what happened with Paladin Cecil, just 3 laps to get one of them on the 50-50 was a little bit too much for me. I need some time to recover now and get, you know, get some of that lapis replenished up. I still have Season 3 to go through. I've already done all the world resets. So looking through these event rewards we can get, apparently we're going to be able to take these red petals and turn them into a bouquet of roses. And that seems like the best item out of all of these. They all seem like newbie items for, you know, an event. You're getting them from the raid. But this item actually looks pretty good and probably decent for up to mid-tier players as it is. I just think Gil, honestly. And so we have a surprise here. We have some global original Valentine's units, and they look like they were worked on pretty hard. Obviously, you can see, you know, pairing 2 units together. We're getting Sieghard and Ignacio, and then we're also getting Ayaka and Sakura. And we kind of saw this a little bit before with the there was like some interview they had on Reddit that was translated. They kind of showed us this all. So we saw the units, we didn't know what they did. But, you know, if you really know who Ignacio and Sieghard are as characters in FFBE, you know, you're going to have an earth elemental tank, and then you're going to have a fire damage dealing, finishing, somewhat support unit. And they kind of bring that together in tandem here in this unit. So you can see that we have striking good looks, boost attack and defense for caster, deal partial and mitigated damage to all enemies, and enable fiery passion and just crush for 2 turns for caster. So it's going to give you the ability to use the some other abilities and things like that. Essentially, this is going to let you imbue fire. I do believe you can imbue earth as well, so it's going to go in both ways there, as what Shali said. Again, we'll learn more about them when they actually get in the data mine. Spotlight on me, once every 20 turns, well, this is why this ability is not that big on me. Add chance of temporary guarding all allies against physical damage to 1 ally, and chance of charming all enemies. So you get a charm out of there with old Sieghard, but as far as you get to turn somebody into a physical cover tank, right? And it's once every 20 turns. I'm assuming it's not going to last for 20 turns. It's going to be a 20-turn cover. So you can't, like, use this as a strategy as far as, like, maybe turn my Kryla into a physical cover tank. And that's going to be great because she has evade stuff on and blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's not going to work. You can't cast it every turn, which kind of sucks. They also talk about an ability that can boost up Sieghard Ignacio's LB damage by 220%, I do believe Shali said, which is absolutely insane, and which is great. They talked about the LB being something that puts up physical damage mitigation, I do believe, and then just does a huge, she said a huge amount of damage. I think it was like maybe 40 times multiplier with that LB damage up is what they're hoping you do with this and have like a finishing move. But again, I'll get into my thoughts in a minute. Madness ability here, Beauty Never Dies, enable Not in the Face, which essentially lets all your allies go hide for a turn, kind of like camouflage. It's going to reduce general damage to Sieghard Ignacio, physical damage, so you're going to get some of that mitigation, and then it's also going to put a revive on Ignacio and Sieghard, so, you know, they all disappear. Maybe some big hit comes that you know it's on the 4th turn or something, and they all come back, and Sieghard and Ignacio live either with the mitigation or they died and came back with the revive there. You can only use it once per battle. So we can keep going because they do reveal the, let's see, they do reveal the TMR and STMR, which you can see here. The STMR is going to be Massive Bouquet, Attack 171, Defense 20%, Earth Elemental, 2-handed weapon. Now, this is, okay, so first off, it's an axe, so that's kind of like, a lot of people don't have axe mastery, meaning they're getting some kind of attack in their kit from equipping an axe. And a lot of people don't like to use the Earth elements, period, anyway. It's not like one of those elements where everybody loves to use it. However, it is kind of cool. It's very, how should I put this? It's very niche, but it could have big uses in the future, right? You go against some Dark Visions boss, maybe, and the 2-handed axe is just what the doctor ordered. But other than that, it's not something you have to go crazy for to get 4 of these units. The Trustmaster reward, Flurry of Petals, boost attack by 40%, HP and defense by 20%, and boost LB gauge fill rate. So this seems more like honestly, it seems pretty lackluster to me. A lot of the time, we want way more attack than 40%. Now, I do love the HP and defense. 20% will help you survive maybe some of those big hits if you put this on an attacker. They're wanting you to put it on this unit because it's a tank and an attacker mixed together. And then the LB fill rate, you know, it's good, but a lot of the units I see us using with these LBs, essentially they have so much of that already, or they have a way to fill up their LB as it is. So not the most hype about these. And then as the unit itself, I really have to wait and see. Like, that's why I really need to hold my judgment on it. First off, I love the animations. I love the way they look. That's one of the things they added is earlier on in the video. You can see the animations up here. But it doesn't sound like to me there's anything too huge to be happy about because of that 20 turn cooldown. And I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what their damage output is, right? If this tank can go in and it could be tanky enough and have enough tack to do the tanky you want, and then also do a damn good amount of finisher damage, that's going to change a lot, right? Because a lot of the tanks out there right now, they normally just tank and then they support. If you can get somebody that does damage, that's going to be great for Dark Visions or other things. That's where my mind is right now, is Dark Visions coming out soon, so, or 2020. So that's where my mind is. For right now, I'm going to put them on the medium tier. I'm hyped up for the Sprite, but I don't know about what they can do. And the next up, we do have Sakura and Ayaka coming out. They're so cute. Ayaka is just the best here. They're going to be together. They're going to be a like magic damage dealing support healer tandem together, and they are going to do I think she said lightning and light damage. And then obviously we're going to have the heals and the support from Ayaka. So we have Kawaii Smile, restore HP and MP for all allies except for self, boost attack, defense, magic, and spirit, reduce damage taken, which is going to be damage mitigation, and boost LB damage for all allies. I think the LB damage was like 20 or something like that. If you guys watch the video, Charlie gives you specifics, but I just want to be safe when it comes to this stuff and wait for the you guys know what happened with Esther and Sylvie. So like, I just wait until the data mine comes out and then I give my full thing. Now, when I read about certain abilities like you know, making people be able to camouflage and stuff, that is super cool, and I get hyped about it, but I gotta wait and see how it actually works and, you know, goes with the rest of the kit. Electrifying Touch is gonna be once every 2 turns, reduce spirit and lightning resist for 1 enemy, boost spirit for caster, and deal lightning magic damage 2 times to 1 enemy. What this appears to me is that this unit is gonna do magic damage based off their spirit, so that maybe you can just build up a lot of spirit to do a lot of healing, and then also maybe, you know, dish out the damage. So we'll have to wait and see with that. And then we have the Magnus ability, which can be used 3 times per battle, and this thing is actually strong because it doesn't appear, we'll have to wait and see how this works, but it doesn't, like, where's the cooldown? It doesn't talk about a cooldown. So gradually restore HP for all allies except for self, so it puts like a HP regen on everybody, and automatically revive and fully restore all allies 1 time. I think she said that last 2 turns. So essentially it's like a button you press when you're like, everybody's gonna die. You can just keep pressing it 3 times in a battle without a cooldown. So like, that could be major. This right here could be big time when it comes to living. Like, right, like if you're like, man, I keep coming back and do damage. If I could just live for 3 more turns, he would be dead. Well, it's like, put that auto revive on everybody and just keep dishing out your damage for 3 turns in a row, and then you don't gotta worry about anything. But I don't know exactly how this is gonna work. It does, you know, I want to compare it over here to yeah, it has the cooldown thing, but it looks like all the Magnus ability does. So can you use this over and over and over in a row? We're going to have to wait and see. So moving on to the actual STMR and then the Trust Mastery reward, we have Floating Hearts, Attack, Defense, and Magic, 21. Spirit 44, MP 214, Enable Love is in the Air, and Null Death. So Null Death is pretty cool. It's coming on another accessory. We have very limited, and especially for sure for people who are just coming into the game, very limited death resistance items. And here's one coming at you with some high MP and high spirit, and then you also get some boosted spirit, and LB gauge goes up every turn. And then you also get Nullified Death. So essentially for this, you're really looking for that Nullified Death. Again, it's not worth using an STMR Moogle, in my opinion. It's not worth going out and trying to get 4 of these units here. And then we have the Trust Master Reward, Loving Spirit, boost HP by 10%, Spirit by 30%, and Spirit by 30% when it goes out. So this is Spirit by 60%, HP by 10%. Pretty strong. This is much more strong and much more applicable, I think, than the Ignacio Sieghard TMR. So that'd be pretty good if you end up picking one of these up. As far as this unit goes overall, again, we're gonna have to wait and wait for the data mine, guys. I just tell myself to say that before I get hyped or anything. But this ability right here, Healing Blossoms, we'll have to see what else they provide. But this ability right here seems pretty busted. And if you can cast it like every like on command, right? Especially if you could W cast or triple cast or something like that with this unit, and the Healing Blossoms is a part of that. It's going to be extremely powerful. That's going to be pretty good. Moving on down, we do have Sweet Lucca, which Sweet Lucca, and then we have where is he at? Yeah, Sweet Nicole or Nicole. You know, every time I said Nicole, people were like, "No, it's Nickel." And then every time I say Nickel, people say it's Nicole. I want to call him Nickel. Or Nicole. I don't like Nickel, so it's Nicole to me. I'm just gonna start saying things the way I want. These units were already out in Japan. With I think this unit right here, especially with getting a global upgrade, was pretty good. I think, you know, I have to go and look at their gear kits. But then Sweet Lucca's here. I will be honest here though. Like, people will say these units are good, or they you know, they have these good uses in these situations. But summoning on a banner like this, with what I know is going to be coming soon, like units like maybe Onion Knight that you would like, Full Metal Alchemist should be coming at least sometime down the road. Eventually, I don't know how many months down the road it's going to be Madame Adele, these powerhouse units. It makes it hard for me to say, go for these units who were like mid-tier in Japan when they came out, you know what I mean? So we'll have to wait and see what they change about these two units with Sweet Nicole. Gotta stop myself from saying nickel now. Getting global upgrades and seeing how well he can do with that. So I'm gonna leave those units alone for right now, because I really, if he doesn't get buffed up enough, I think you're gonna skip their entire banner. That's just me. Like, they're just not. They're not that big of a deal to be going after, unless you really want them. Then you can do whatever you want. But it looks like we are getting a step up summon where you can get prisms. Thank goodness if you guys are gonna be going for this. If I decide to go for this, the rainbow rate has been gone up to 7%, up from 5%, and the featured rate is up to 2%, which is great. I mean, it's not a great featured rate, but it's good that it at least went up. And then at the end, you guys get a guaranteed one of these, and it's guaranteed to be the other one of whichever one you want for a long time, just like it was with me. And I just couldn't get Paladin Cecil. Okay, so I'm a little sad, a little salty, but hey, at least you guys get a cool step up here, and it's not some weird one. They talk about the next bosses coming out being Zeramus, and then we have the Demon Wall, which is amazing, you know, because this is the, you know, it's a shield from, you know, Sieghard, essentially, is what it looks like there with the face. And I don't know if they ripped it right off the sprite or what. And then we also, you know, I fought this in the Final Fantasy 14, as you believe. It was obviously other games, but like that's where I remember it from most recently. And it has a really good staff. Azora's Rod, attack 12, magic 174, activate Dragon Slayer arts, boost magic damage against dragons. So it has a really high magic stat for your magic damage dealers, and if you're going against a dragon, it's going to give you that extra dragon killer, which is going to be phenomenal. It does seem like, you know, just like you, if you guys have ever fought a Demon Wall in any of the Final Fantasies, the Demon Wall keeps coming forward and forward and forward, eventually going to knock you out or smash you, and as it gets closer, it does more damage. So you have to try to kill this thing. It's like a DPS race, essentially, is the way Shali describes it, and this, the way the game usually works anyway, in Final Fantasy. So that's going to be interesting. Next up, they're giving my girl Olive, which I have 40 of, latent abilities. You know what you should do, Goomy? You should make it so if I fuse 40 olives into one, she becomes super OP. How about that for all the olives you gave me? So I'm excited to see where this goes. If she gets really big and she becomes a really good finisher, maybe, because right now, if you guys don't know, Dark Visions is coming out eventually, and Sid is the physical damage dealer you guys want to have. The FFBE Sid. You want to have him awaken, have you know, his weapons ready to go when he comes out, because that guy's going to be your finisher, man. That guy's going to be crushing, right? Maybe I'll have him give him a run for his money with these latent abilities. I'm excited to see that. And then we have some other fan favorites with Tifa and Jecht. Frannis can get the fuck out of here, but we have Tifa and Jecht. I want to see what happens with Global, right? Because they always, I have seemed to lately, been giving these units much more than they got in JP to try to power them up and see where they go. Because I know a lot of people with the Final Fantasy VII remake coming out maybe want to mess around with Tifa, and then Jecht, you know, Daddy Jecht would be cool to hang out with, and would be good to use, because I never really got to use him when he came out, to be honest. I was using somebody else I can't remember, so it'd be nice to mess around with him if he becomes strong enough. Moving on, they talk about some of the login events and some of the rewards that you can get. Shali is not entertained here, as you can see, and then they make the announcement that it's coming to Indonesia and Thai. So yeah, so we're gonna have a release Thai and Indonesia version for FFBE, which is good. And the reason is that's more money they can put in their pocket to make better content for us. So let's get it. Don't be too upset when this is going on. They're so excited about it, so we should be too, because that's the more money. Like, I'm gonna be honest, the more money FFBE is making, the easier it is for them to give us some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, to not be as strict on some of the things. So that's exciting as well. Again, I'm hopeful with this event and these units. I think they look amazing. They look so cool. We'll have to wait and see how they turn out and how it is here on Global. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below which are the two you want to go for. And if I'm completely wrong in evaluating so fast the other two units, we have Sweet Lucca and then Sweet Nicole, dang it. Subscribe for future content. Follow me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Claic Yuzolt, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.